Raise your hand. Gary will come around. Ask Cullen a question. He'll answer it.
Cullen, first just talk about the race tonight, and now that you've had a moment to dissect it, what was the key?
The biggest thing for me was the start. I've never been this calm going into a trials. In 2008, I was a nervous wreck, and my focus was just to implement everything that I've learned in the past 4 years. David has completely revamped my stroke from the start, the turn, everything. So there's a lot of T's to cross and I's to dot, but I was really focused on the start and just not slowing down and steamrolling all the way to the finish. And semifinals, I kind of had a long finish, and I knew with the 22.0, that was the one race that I was sitting there like, I'm not ecstatic about that, but I know that I can go faster if I have a better finish, and my goal was to swim through the wall.
Hey, Cullen, Mark Cannizzaro for the New York Post. You talked a little bit in the mix zone there about getting to those individual events and your dream of that. Can you expand on that dynamic? Obviously, you've been there before and done the relays. What's going to be the different dynamic of having these individual events you qualify for?
I think because of the success in 2008, it's kind of overshadowed, but also in 2008, I was third in the 100 free and third in the 50 free. So kind of had a little bit of a sour taste because I knew the 50 free was the one event that I really put a lot of heart into that one. And the 100 free has always just been a trial for me and trying to be as fast as possible. And we've worked on that a lot this year with David, and it's just always been a goal of mine and a dream of mine to represent the country individually in an individual event. So to be blessed with 2 events, I'm ecstatic.
Yes. So Cullen, you say you wanted to represent the country in an individual event, and when you qualified in the 100, do you feel that you kind of almost got the monkey off your back, knowing that your best event was yet to come?
I was really confused after the 100, which one was my best event. I was so happy with the 100, and it was such a surreal event, and to tell you the complete truth, I went out there and just said, I'm gonna go out and hope to God I make it back. And 25 left, I looked over and I saw Nathan, and I was just like, oh, go, 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 go. And I just steamrolled straight to the wall, but it was such a surreal feeling after the 100 that going into the 50, I had to kind of forget about the 100 and say, I got to make this team again. And that was kind of my mentality. I didn't take it as if I was already on the team. To kind of calm myself, I did use that. But the 50 was, I got to make this team. I got to make this team. That was my mentality.
Cullen, last spring of 2011, it seemed like you were kind of at a crossroads where you were having some motivational issues. How did you get from that spot to making 2 individual events here?
Having a great support network. As I think you all know, I've been in the sport long enough to know my mom puts her foot in my butt often when I'm not motivated and not paying attention. And we had a really long talk, and she just asked me, do you want to do this anymore? And if you do, you have to go 100%. You can't, do it halfway, it kind of shot me back to when I was 8 years old, and she said, we're going to start swimming. And if you do it, you're not going to stop in the middle. And I just became very focused. Also, a big thing for me was a lot of the national team coaches came up to me in 2011 in Shanghai, and I was watching the relay, and he said, we don't have one of our best 100 freestylers out there, and we're going to need you for next year. And I heard that from a couple of coaches, and it really hit home for me. So when I came back and I was racing and training with Josh Schneider and Nick Brunelli, and having them every day to get up and race against, even when you feel like absolute not good, it helped me. So a lot of thanks goes to those guys because they kept me motivated.
This morning, Leah Neal mentioned that you had talked to her before her own 100 free. What were you able to tell her that might have helped her? And, how do you see your role as a mentor to the younger swimmers?
Being from New York, and every time that I go back, I always have a lane and I always have a place with Aqua, and I'm so thankful for that. Rachel is a great coach, and she's always been very nice. And she always tells me to talk to Leah, and I've seen Leah struggle because at 17 you have just so many things going on with school and figuring out where you want to go to school. And for a 17-year-old to be sitting here in finals, I knew that she was a little nervous. So the biggest thing I told her was, you know, you're swimming against some great names. And I just saw her face drop, and I was just like, yes. But what they have in experience, you have in raw talent. You've practiced so hard, you've gone out there, I've seen you, you've beaten me in practice. You're not gonna die. Go out there and finish hard. And she did exactly that. And although I didn't get to see her last night, I saw her today and, you know, gave her a big hug. So I'm really proud of her and really happy for her. And happy to call her a teammate.
Anything else? Thanks a lot.
Well, thanks guys.